Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on The Flash, Season 4. So as I have said previously in other videos regarding both the Season 3 finale of The Flash as well as Season 4, we were left with quite the handful of questions from the finale heading into the next season around the fate of certain characters and whether we would be seeing them next season and, like how we would be seeing them as well. This is linked to characters such as Barry and Wally, as we are sort of unsure what will be happening with our two speedsters at the beginning of Season 4, how long will Wally be the hero of Central City for, how will Barry get out of the Speed Force, stuff like that. And the other major character that we aren't like 100% sure about heading into Season 4 is actually, as you can tell by the title, Killer Frost or Caitlin Snow. Throughout Season 3 we saw Caitlin turn into Killer Frost 2 times. I guess you could say the first time didn't really count, but it sort of did if you think about it, as it was Killer Frost trying to take full control of Caitlin's body. But anyway, we first saw her chill out, if you want to call it that, in episode 7, which was fittingly titled Killer Frost. But she was turned back into good old Caitlin Snow by the conclusion of that episode, which was sort of disappointing at the time. But it did make sense in regards to what was to come later in the season for Caitlin. And then the second time we saw Killer Frost come to life was at the conclusion of episode 18 of Season 3, which was the Abracadabra episode. And this is where Caitlin actually died due to some pretty bad injuries, but was brought back to life as Killer Frost after Julian removes the tech that was keeping Killer Frost at bay. But unlike episode 7, we didn't see Killer Frost, hide away at the end of the next episode. She actually stuck around and was the assistant, I guess you could say, to Savitar as he tried to play out his master, godlike plan leading into the finale. Throughout those last handful of episodes of Season 3, where we were seeing Killer Frost hanging out with Savitar and assisting him with his plan, we could see that her inner good, or inner Caitlin, was trying to have an impact on certain choices and decisions. And the show wasn't like trying to make that subtle at all. They wanted us to notice that. Like, they were making it pretty clear, hey dudes, this isn't full on Killer Frost, by the way. There is a little bit of Caitlin left in there. And this all led up to the finale, in which we, right at the end, saw the good, or Caitlin, within Killer Frost show itself and assist in the takedown of Savitar. And then right at the end of the season, at HR's funeral in the finale, we saw Caitlin, or Killer Frost, turn down the cure from Julian and actually go away for a while to, I guess, like discover herself again. So due to the events of the end of the season, a lot of people have been wondering and asking, is Caitlin or Killer Frost still evil? And that's what we will go over now. And the simple answer to the topical question at hand of, is Killer Frost still evil, is, well, no. She isn't evil. I don't think she ever actually was full-on evil. But does this mean she is good now? And once again, my answer to that is no. The Killer Frost we saw at the end of Season 3 was definitely bad, like she had some bad blood going through her, but she wasn't evil. The little part of Caitlin that remained inside of her and was showing up within certain parts, in regards to decision making and stuff like that, would have been like the final defense, if you want to call it that, or the final stage against the full-on, crossing over to an evil Killer Frost. So if that little part of Caitlin wasn't in there, sort of affecting certain decisions and choices that were being made, then I think we would have seen a full-on evil Killer Frost, one that would have been going around killing people, saying, I don't really give a crap. But because that tiny bit of Caitlin was in there, Killer Frost was just bad. She wasn't actually evil. But what I think we will see with Caitlin in Season 4 is a character profile sort of similar to that of Captain Cold's. A Season 2 Captain Cold, might I say. Where she is in that like grey area in between good and bad. So she's not good, but she's not bad. She's just in that middle or grey area. I don't really think the show will just return her to being, good old Caitlin that we saw in Seasons 1 and 2, after spending the amount of time that they did in Season 3 on getting her to the point of Killer Frost. But this has actually brought up a new sort of question in regards to this. Like, you can't really have this person going around who is, sort of in that grey area between good and bad, and have her being called Killer Frost. So what are they going to do? A lot of people have been, suggesting that they might turn her into the DC Comics hero known as Ice, who in the comics is known as Tora Olofsdotter. I think that's how you pronounce it. But she's a hero, so it'd be interesting to see if they went down that path. I don't know if they'll necessarily call her Ice. They might come up with something else. They could easily just call her Frost. That would be pretty damn simple. But it wouldn't surprise me if Season 4, or maybe even the first half of Season 4, is like, introducing the idea of this good version of quote-unquote Killer Frost, and it sort of could be similar to what Arrow might be doing with Black Siren, where it's sort of like a redemption arc. That could be what happens with Caitlyn or Killer Frost in Season 4. Because right at the end of Season 4, like, she loses those blue eyes, she goes back to the eyes that Caitlyn has, like the brown eyes I think she has. So really the only thing that's really, you know, outstanding and making you realize that this is, you know, still Killer Frost is the hair, because she does seem to be acting more like Caitlyn, but she is a bit more reserved. So I'm hoping they actually delve pretty deep into that when we get to Season 4, sorry. And I think we will, because they've announced the villain who's the Thinker, and I don't really think he's a villain that can really last too much, so I don't think that, like, too much of the season, so I don't think they'll introduce him until later on. So hopefully they spend that first half of the season before the Thinker becomes too big of a part of the season, delving into the characters, you know, whether that be Cisco, whether that be Wally, Barry, Jesse, Quick, even Jay Garrick, but also Caitlyn or Killer Frost, because they've left the door open in regards to what they're going to do with her. They have time to, you know, test the waters and see what would be a good choice to go with her. And you got to remember, a lot of people might not realize this yet. It wasn't necessarily like full on explained, or like, full on explained in the show, but the introduction of the Tracy Brand character, who is a season regular in Season 4, she's basically the Caitlyn replacement for Starlab. So you can't really see Caitlyn coming back into the picture in regards to, you know, coming back to Starlabs anytime soon, just because Tracy Brand is there, and like that's why she's been brought in onto the team. So it will be interesting to see how they tie Caitlyn into the story and, you know, make a story for her in Season 4 without having her as a part of Starlab. So that's an interesting thing to look forward to in Season 4, but it's also going to be interesting to see how they do it as well. But thanks for watching, guys. If you did enjoy the video, it'd be awesome if you could leave a like on it just to show your support. Let me know in the comments section down below any thoughts you have on the topic at hand. Do you think Killer Frost is going to remain, you know, more to the bad side, or do you think we'll see a more heroic Caitlyn Snow metahuman being within Season 4? Just let me know what you think of all that in the comments section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys, and goodbye.